Teddy Roosevelt once said what I would consider to be one of the most distinguished and relevant quotes of all time concerning existence. He said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, but who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself for a worthy cause, who, at best, knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who, at worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place will never be with those cold and timid souls who knew neither victory nor defeat." This quotation alludes to the responsibility one has towards one's own personal convictions if one desires to live at least an honest, satisfactory life. It is how we define for ourselves what is a worthy cause that we can spend our life on or invest our life in. What is a high achievement worthy of investment? Bravery and passion, that is something worth living for. All people experience the fear of failure, and this fear can be paralyzing. But realize that even if you get it wrong, at least you had the balls to risk everything you yourself deemed worthy of risking, instead of sniveling under a bush pathetically for the whole of your minuscule existence, allowing other stimuli besides yourself control you. You, coward, will be chased to the grave by self-loathing and regret if you do not realize that you are the maker of your future, and no one else. No one else has a right to try to assert themselves onto you as the maker of your future. You are the only one that knows what you want to spend your life on. No one else has the right to play the puppeteer in your life. It has been said that if you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. And if you allow yourself to fall for anything, you relinquish the control of your life into the hands of other people or objects. I have not yet observed any human that allows their world to influence them and feels fulfilled. Actually, what they're doing is they're cheating themselves. I don't buy into this heaven or hell idea. I don't buy into the meek will inherit the earth. And this is why. Because although humility is a good thing, and although gentleness and kindness are both very good qualities to have, if you cannot assert dominance over your own life, you will come to the end of your days with regret, and you will be bitter. I'm sure that we all have seen those elderly people that are bitter and chronically unhappy. It's a condition I would consider chronic unhappiness, because this regret and this bitterness towards their life or the things, the experiences that happen to them weigh down on them so much that little petty things are so important to them, and they can't find anything happy about living. They're just constantly resentful. So I don't buy into this heaven and hell idea. And if you don't either, then we both know that the only guarantee of life is death. And since post-death occurrences involving consciousness, aka the soul, are drowned in ambiguity, We can only be certain of the fact that our body will, one day, shut down and decay. In other words, your life has an expiration date. My life has an expiration date. You don't have the time to waste on what other people demand of you, or what your culture demands from you, or anything else, anything that would be ready to take from you with your consent, anything else that would be ready to take from you your control. And yes, it requires your consent, because it's only by your consent that you give whatever it is this power over your existence. So the reason why I am saying all of this is because my second encouraging message involves the satisfaction of autonomy. I could also call it the satisfaction of risk, because it's not always easy to follow our convictions, and by convictions I mean what we believe this world to be about, what we believe our role in this world to be. It's not the satisfaction that religious people expect to get at these pearly gates, believed to be waiting for them at the end of their life. It's the satisfaction of being. It is the satisfaction of here. It is the satisfaction of now. It's the satisfaction that comes from achieving whatever it is that you want out of life. And by getting what you want, I don't mean stepping on other people's heads to do it. If you can understand the significance of autonomy in your life, then you should naturally realize the significance of autonomy in other people's lives. Being autonomous is not an implication. It is not an implication of anarchy or narcissism. Exercising the freedom to do what you want means also not interfering with other people's wants. It is in your best interest and your society's best interest to be cooperatively selfish, meaning coordinating what you want with what other people want so that you both can get what you want. Everyone's goal of autonomy, and thus everyone's goal of fulfillment, can be respected and satisfied. As human beings, we have two major responsibilities. We have a responsibility to ourselves as individuals, and then we have a responsibility to our fellow man as social creatures. Our responsibility to ourselves as individuals is to follow after our desires. And then our responsibility as social creatures is to take any of those desires that would be destructive to our fellow man and his desires and throw them away. As an autonomous person, you have the control to fulfill both of these responsibilities. Also, asserting your dominance over your life should not be exaggerated into a message to stand up to your boss or give the bird to your professor. If working at that job or learning under that professor is what will help you reach your desires, especially your long-term goals, then you are actually on the right track when you show obedience. Yes, even obedience can be a sign of practicing autonomy. So anyway, that is my second message of encouragement to all you pagans out there, like me. Don't be afraid to stand up to those people who try to tell you how to plan out your future. You assert dominance over your own life. You make it very clear that you don't have heaven and you don't have any second chances. You only get today. You only get today, and not even the next second of right now is guaranteed to you. So, be who you are. Don't be afraid to let others know who you are, and decide what you will stand for. Be autonomous.